see you dancing there, you go all night long. You ain't watching no one else, girl, in your zone. I feel the air ignite, I wanna strike the match. You ain't with nobody else, girl, let me know. 'Cause I love the way you are, but you won't let down your guard. And I need you to just open up for tonight. I'll give you my love, 'cause I need you now. I'll give you my all before these candles burning out. I wanna love you, I'm singing it loud. Baby, I'm floating, there's no way I'm coming down. And our hearts beating in time, make it feel like we escaped to paradise. I'll give you my love, 'cause I need you now. I'll give you my all before these candles burning down. Chase the light, it's a fantasy waiting here, come to life. Let me take you there, we're running out of time. And if you hold my hand, I'll show you how to fly. 'Cause I love the way you are, but you won't let down your guard. And I need you to just open up for tonight. I'll give you my love, 'cause I need you now. I'll give you my all before these candles burning out. I wanna love you, I'm singing it loud. to paradise. I'll give you my love, 'cause I need you now. I'll give you my all before this candle's burning down.
The age bright boy, silence keeps us still. I thought when you were gone, I'd be there to follow you down. Your eyes never backing down. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so, 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 tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you. Tell me what's so real about you, so real about you.
Hello everyone and welcome to another night of this University Summer Rumble 2018. We have ESM Blue versus the boys. For those who aren't sure, the universities are from left to right: Monash University versus Western Sydney University. I'm joined here by my play-by-play caster Tico. Tico, say hi to everyone.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
I believe they might be. I believe they're doing pretty well for tonight, especially since it's a great night for League of Legends.
It is indeed. And if we already have the pick and ban phase up right now, we have Vladimir already coming through, and a Vel'Koz, and a Riven.
Absolutely. And what are your thoughts on those ban picks so far?
Well, I mean, Vladimir, he's a really good mid laner, and towards the late game, his health just scales so much. But, I mean, he is a pretty good ban, as the Horn comes out as well, and now it's obvious why an Ornn ban is out as well. So, how about you explain it to them if they don't know?
Absolutely, I'd be more than willing to. Just looking at those bands right there, just within this current patch, Vladimir is incredibly powerful, especially with his wombo combo kit. You know, if he gets to the, his full blood vial, he'll pretty much just do critical strike damage to any person in sight, and that is magic critical strike damage, and that is hard to be able to defend against. Like, there is not a lot you can really do except for stacking AMR, but not a lot of people really stack a lot of MR since, a lot of team compositions are more or less based around the AD side of things. So it's historically a lot of people just build armor more than magic resistance.
Well, I mean, you could build the one with the executioner, the item with the executioner in it. What do you call it? The I keep forgetting.
Well, what does it do exactly? What does it do?
Okay, so basically it gives a debuff where you get minimal healing.
Executioner's Calling is called.
That one, yeah.
And the formal, completed item is actually called Mortal Reminder. For those who are a little bit unsure when it comes to the actual names, a Mortal Reminder is a very good anti-armor tank item. It gives you the 40%, I believe it's 40% armor penetration. I cannot remember whether they brought it back from 45, but it used to be incredibly powerful. But they brought it back a little bit just to try and even the playing field a little bit. Because ADC is just going to almost still just chunk through a lot of tanks' armor. And, the idea of being a tank is to be able to be that sponge that can soak up damage, not be a tank and be worthless to the team because you're just going to get chewed through by that single Mortal Reminder. Coming over to... Actually, let's go into the first pick phase. What do we see here?
So we do have a Sejuani coming out, and that's the first pick jungler. And, Kilder, I believe that's how you... Kilderness? Is that how you say his name?
Let's call him Kilder.
Kilder, alright. He's picked Xin Zhao into Sejuani. Now, I'm not sure why you do that. Can you explain that? I mean...
I'm not really 100% sure either. The early game, Xin Zhao can have the advantage because his kit just works really well around the early game sustainability part. Whereas when he hits level 6 and, he unlocks that ultimate, he can be a very problematic champion, especially for, enemy range-based players. That includes mages like a Malzahar, but unfortunately he doesn't need to worry about that because he has Malzahar on his team. And coming over to the left-hand side, which is Monash University, or should I say ESM Blue, they have an interesting bot lane pick. They've got a very pokey team comp. They've got Lulu, they've got Varus, they've got so much poke. I'm very curious to see how the boys are going to respond to this. And at the moment, they are responding with that Xayah pick.
Yeah, the boys, they've banned all the mid laners, taking it away from Never Ever Lucky, and he is not lucky at all because his Azir's been taken, his Ryze has been taken, as well as the Vel'Koz if he might want to do mid lane as well. So it's not a lucky day for him.
No, and as of recently, Azir has actually been quite the powerful pick. He might have that early game drawback, but once he starts building up those items and getting into the mid game, he starts coming online. And versing an Azir, especially one that is nice and fed with a Ryle's Crystal Scepter, you are going to have a very bad time. And coming over to the final bans, over to the side of Monash, we see 2 support bans. That is an interesting combination. Braum is a very common ban. He has a lot of CC. Even if it's not direct like a Leona or anything like that, it is still problematic because all he needs is that one basic attack on somebody. Or better yet, his Q. Or even his ultimate. I'm pretty sure it's called, I think it's Glacial Fissure. I'm pretty sure.
Glacial Fissure.
Thank you.
Great disengaged champion. I mean, not champion, ability. And I mean, it's amazing what it can do. It can engage team fights, it can disengage, it can do so much, and it helps a lot. So, I mean, that was a really good ban. But the Rakan ban as well was directed towards that Xayah pick because they synergize so well. So.
Absolutely, and looking over at the final picks on the team, on the side of the boys, we have. I'm not going to respect that yet. That is still to be locked in. As we can see, the countdown timer is still active.
Okay.
That is possibly a Xayah ADC. Yes, that is a Xayah ADC with a confirmed Janna support, and we have the final pick as Jax. Now that is going to be a very interesting team comp. We have a Jax. We have a Xin Zhao. Actually, this is where I think you should take over, Tico. Tico, please give us the picture.
Alright, so we have a Camille into Jax. Now that isn't very common. You normally don't see this. Jax has some CC, is stun, but it just... I mean, I think Camille would be able to win this. What do you think, this top lane? How do you think this is going to work?
Jax, with his ability to dodge all basic attacks, is going to be very effective against Camille. Camille has two abilities that are good engages, but her Q and her ultimate ultimately rely on her basic attack capabilities. Her Q has two. They're essentially two sheens. One that is just a regular bonus damage, and then the other one that is actually true damage if she actually times it correctly. And then coming over to looking over just at the general team comps, the mid lane. I'm very interested in seeing how that's going to work. We have a Syndra versus Mouse. Mouse is a very powerful pick, very good when he comes online, especially with that, the ability to clean up farm in a single lane as well as push it very easily. But we also have a Syndra, and Syndra as of late has actually been very, very reliable to maintain herself within the game. But that is only if she builds that Ravenous Hunter. And Ravenous Hunter, for those who are unaware, is a keystone, is one of your rune keystones in the domination tree that you heal for a certain percentage of the damage you deal on your abilities. And for someone who is heavily ability reliant like Syndra, that can be very helpful in a situation, when it comes to actually, it's just good all round. You can use it in lane to keep yourself sustainable. You can use it in a fight to stay alive. It's almost like, it's like the mage's form of a death dance essentially. Or better yet, it's an automatic gunblade if you also think about it that way too. And the main objective of this game is to survive, as well as try and wipe out the enemy team. If you're going to have a lot of damage but no survivability, well, you may as well just walk into them and just give them a free kill. Like that's just pretty much like how League of Legends works these days. You got to be able to survive to be able to do damage.
Yeah, that's true, and it backs up that point about surviving this game, because we have a Janna and a Lulu in bot, and those two supports are protective supports. Lulu has quite a bit of shielding, and her ultimate gives extra health, extra bonus stats to whoever she's used it on, as well as the Janna. She's got disengage. She's got a huge amount of disengage. She has Monsoon, Howling Gale, I believe that's what you call it. She's got a shield, and it's amazing how great of a pick Janna is, especially with an engaged comp like Camille and Sejuani, and I mean even Varus.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as we come into the final 55 seconds of the spectators delay, we do apologize for this, everybody, but that's just how the spectating mode works. In League of Legends, if it was completely live, well, that could just be completely unfair towards one team. You could just see where they are from the minute the game starts. And you just, if someone can have two League of Legends clients happening at once on one screen, it's just like, oh, what's happening over this? Let's look over to this screen. Let's look at the spectator mode to see what's happening on their side right now.
Yeah. But I'm looking at these. I'm gonna focus on these two junglers right now. Sejuani, she has a lot of towards the mid and late game, she has a lot of health, armor, magic resist. She's got a lot of resistance, and she can help a lot in team fights. Now compare that to Xin Zhao. He's more like a one target pick. Now, how do you think these two are going to play out during the game? Towards focusing more on the mid game.
Towards the mid game?
Yes.
It's very interesting to tell at the moment, because this is wait, look, seeing as this is a very high, a very highly skilled matchup we've got here, like, this is Division 1. Anything can happen. You could have someone who gets completely countered, but they'll be able to survive the early game, they'll be able to survive that early game disadvantage. And sometimes it can even work in their favor. If the jungler comes together with them, they can actually turn the tides, turn the counter to actually countering. And we'll be right back very quickly, folks. We just need to do a quick sync up.
Wait. I haven't even gotten to the game yet. not even in game yet.
Adapt or perish.
Alright.
Alright, coming into game one, we seem to have a very, very, close team-based action happening here. Although on the side of ESM, there's quite a bit of an odd. Just coming into a quick little pause, we seem that we have a small ping spike happening for Jack, so we just let him quickly fix up his internet.
Yeah. But while they try to sort that out, I want to focus on these ADC starting items. Now, Relic Shield, we've seen this quite a bit. Now, why? Why would they pick a Relic Shield over something like a Doran's Blade, a Cull, something that can give them even more gold?
Not really sure. Not really sure. Like, considering, like, with Malzahar and his ability to actually, like, get free poke on the enemy. I assume we're talking about Malzahar, yeah?
No, talking about the ADCs. Why would they start a Relic Shield?
Oh, I apologize. I was still fixing up the stream quickly. I was having a small technical issue. At the moment, that is the current meta. And going with those Relic Shields, you get the extra, you get the extra health to be able to take on a little bit more damage. As well, you get to, like, share the gold with your support. And if your support can get that, if your support can get that gold advantage as well, then it's essentially going to be a very, very healthy bot lane. That's going to be very wealthy. They can actually get the items a lot sooner. As well, the quest completion on that Relic Shield, if they upgrade it to Targon's Brace, which enables them to complete that quest, they will get like an extra bubble, which is essentially like a, it's a passive barrier to them. And everyone loves everyone loves having, that extra survivability stat. And in this case, that is like, the free barrier bubble, as I have pretty much mentioned like at least 3 times now.
Yeah, but, I mean, focusing on these mid laners now, Syndra does have she has comparatively more poke than Malzahar does, especially with those balls. Now, it won't be as effective in team fights, a Syndra into a Malzahar, because Malzahar is a lot more, I'd say, team-based damage. So how do you think the Syndra is going to deal with the Malzahar at this stage of the game?
At this stage of the game, it's still a little bit, off balance, really. Just gonna have to bear with me for one moment. For some reason, my stream is a little bit off. My stream's a little bit off balance. Let me fix that up quickly for the folks at home. I'm having a slight little technical issue. Can you just take over for a minute while I fix up this issue for him?
No problem, but we do have a Shin Zhao. Now, he might be looking for a gank up top lane, but is here as well. Camille does have a shield, but it's not going to be enough. She does try and grapple away, and she will be able to do so fairly effectively. Now, Camille, she is able to escape from ganks quite easily, especially with a grapple, and it's hook shot. Sorry, that's what you call it. It's called a hook shot. And now it's a great disengage tool as well as a great engage tool. And the ability to do so gives her an advantage, especially in lane. Jax has one jump. He can jump 2 minions. He can jump to a ward. He can jump on an enemy player. But there has to be something to jump onto. And especially against a Camille, it won't be enough because there's walls everywhere that Camille can jump onto. But this Jax can't jump onto a wall, and so it's a great disengage tool for Camille. So looking up top lane, again, Sejuani is going to find this Shin Zhao. Shin Zhao trying to burst her down, but Sejuani is going to run away from this one. Jax falls dangerously low, however, to Camille, and a flash comes out from top lane, as well as ball lane, a heal coming out, and Shin Zhao picks up another kill onto Camille. There's so much happening, picks up a kill onto Xayah, and Varus is going down low to these minions, but he's not going to die, and he's going to survive from this as Lulu picks up a kill onto Janna as well. And that was a total bloodshed. So much happening. Now, looking at the top lane, we saw that yeah, we saw that Sejuani was up top lane, met with the Xin Zhao, and this was a good call by the bot lane, by Varus and Lulu to engage onto Xayah and Janna to maybe get a trade on, and that keeps them at fairly even gold with the enemy team, with the other boys. So now Monash, ESM Blue, they're at 8.3 thousand, while oh, what's the other team? Yeah, the boys, they're only at 7,600. So the trade down bot lane did help them bring the fight back and give them a lead advantage.
Absolutely, and looking towards the scoreboard, we have a 32 CS advantage over 20, and even though that is only 12 CS between the two, looking over towards the KDA, we also see an attack, a kill and an assist happening. Although coming towards the mid lane, we seem to have a bit of a pokey situation, almost an attempted gank by Xin Zhao.
Yeah, it was a good attempt, but Syndra just knew she had she didn't have a ward there, but the way that Malzahar was playing it out, he was too aggressive, and that's not the way that happens. But Xin Zhao maybe looking for something again up top lane. Jax tries to stun her, but a huge shield coming out from Camille again, and she doesn't have hookshot available, and they might be able to take her down, and they will with one more auto attack from Xin Zhao.
And with that kill, they seem to be closing in the gap on the gold lead right there. They're only at least 500 in front at the moment, closing in. It'll be a very interesting match as it begins to unfold. We're starting to see a lot of action happening between both teams. At the moment, Xin Zhao's trying to be very aggressive, but being over in the top jungle, he's actually tried to make himself known both mid and top, and they have both responded very well. Beats has responded by trying to get the initial engage, but Syndra is able to read him like a book. She knew that the minute he goes in against her, she is going to feel that presence of Xin Zhao somewhere in the shadow, in that fog of war. And then coming towards top lane, just the minute Camille gets jumped in by Jax, she knows there is a problem happening and tries to back away. But Jax, with his ability to close the gap on the enemy, as well as his ability to slow down with his W, it's just absolutely phenomenal. Like, this is what I mean by the early game advantage for Xin Zhao. Like, the wind becomes lightning is very effective after he gets that initial dash.
Exactly, and I mean, everywhere there's action, but looking down this bot lane, Varus and Lulu are in total control of this lane. Xayah and Janna are too scared to do anything, too scared to engage. Janna, a really good disengaged champion, but engaging, she's not on point. But we do have Xin Zhao coming down ball lane. He does have a lot of lane pressure right now. He's got 3 kills on his side, and they may be looking for an engaged. Sejuani, however, is going to be met by Malzahar. So is a Xin Zhao trying to deal some damage. Is going to be able to escape from that.
Oh, the flash!
As Sejuani is going to be able to escape from that jet.
Go, Syndra!
However, is there. She might be trying to take Xin Zhao down, but she's not going to be able to, as she's outside his ultimate range. But Varus does pick that one up.
That was an absolutely incredible invasion by Xin Zhao and Mouse. Unfortunately, Xin Zhao just gets caught out just that little bit at the end. Coming in towards the bot lane, we got a lot of action happening here.
We do have an engage from the Varus, trying to land a couple hits onto Xayah. He is taken down low as Janna is doing work. Heal is popped, and they're trying to still go for it. Varus is not going to be able to pick up the Xayah, and Janna is doing quite a bit of damage to this Varus. Because he is so low, he is being threatened by a AP support.
Absolutely, and Janna has become quite the pokey support ever since her game, or should I say her ability update, especially with her passive. Her W has just now, it'll always have the longest duration, it'll always reach the longest length, but the longer it whirls up, the quicker it travels now. And her passive, she gets extra basic attack damage based on, the certain, I believe it's a certain percentage of her bonus movement speed.
Yeah, exactly, but we're looking up this top lane again. Camille is going to try and dodge the CC, but is not going to be able to. Sejuani is there, however, to save her, and Camille uses the ultimate, so is Sejuani, and they try to take Jax down, and they're going to be able to do so fairly easily in this 2v1.
Absolutely, that Hextech ultimatum as well as the Glacial Prism. An absolutely amazing combo to lock him down. Jax tried to get himself out of there with that counter strike, but just he couldn't hold him up to the par. The minute Sejuani came in, it was completely lights out for Matic. Manning's doing really well to try and stay on the aggression. He is falling behind quite a lot. He is 15 CS behind, you know, with that XP gap between the two to start with. Then we have the 2 kills that Camille has accumulated on top of. She's looking to finish off that Trinity Force. It is a battle to see who can finish their Trinity Force first in the top lane so far.
Yeah, exactly, and you can see that Camille is far ahead right now. It might not show in the items, but Xin Zhao actually looking down well, and he's gonna gank a big hit onto Lulu, but he might not be able to do much as the ultimate coming out from Lulu. Varus is in danger now as Zaya picks up the kill on him. Teleport coming in from Camille. So is Syndra there. It's a team fight now. Janna has used a stopwatch and she's gonna stop a lot of damage, but it's not gonna be enough as Lulu picks up the kill on Janna. Camille onto Xin Zhao, and now Zaya is alone. She is trying to pick up something onto Camille, but Camille is going to be able to escape from that fairly easily as Syndra picks up another one.
That is a complete 2 for 3 trade right there in favor of, you know, yeah, the boys. They are really showing how much of the boys they really are right now.
Yeah, but yeah, the boys, they're still behind, aren't they?
Yes, unfortunately they are. They have almost a 3,000 gold difference between the two, and with the kills heavily in the favor of Monash University, or should I say ESM Blue. It's still very close. It's still too early to tell because anything can happen when it comes to mid to late game. But when we come towards the mid / late game, a lot of the players on the side of Monash University or ESM Blue will start coming online. You know, Camille will start getting a little bit more tankier. Sejuani is, you know, the frontline tank that they need for that initial engage. Like that Glacial Prison is going to just open up a whole world of frozen pain for, yeah, the boys right there.
Yeah, and I mean, the Glacial Prison is actually a really good ultimate. It's not as good as it used to be before her rework, where you could use your ultimate on every single member of the team, stunning them. But it's still very effective, dealing damage and in a huge area of effect. And I mean, it helps a lot to secure a kill onto someone. But I just want to focus. I want to focus on these ADCs right now. Never mind, however, we're gonna look up top lane. Xin Zhao trying to get a pick onto Camille isn't gonna be able to do so as she has a really great disengage tool. But mid lane, Malzahar trying to get a pick onto Syndra, not gonna be enough either as the ultimate isn't gonna lock down and the support and jungler are not there quick enough.
Yes, that is quite the interesting team fight, and happening towards the mid lane with a team fight. We seem to have the kill towards Syndra with that barrier to secure her.
In comes the Glacial Prison, Sejuani trying to get a pick. Stopwatch pop by Malzahar, and Sejuani is not alone anymore. Lulu's used the ultimate. Xin Zhao is got polymorphed, and he's trying to get a pick on Sejuani. Isn't going to do so as she picks up one back, but Camille is getting pushed out by this Jax up the top lane.
Absolutely, and coming into 12 minutes and 30 seconds, Camille has actually already been pushed past that priority line, but she's doing well to, you know, keep those minions back, so that way she can still clear the farm, get the gold, get the XP, and not sacrifice any of it to the turret, all because of her inability to, you know, take out the minions if she had to. Oh, seems interesting. Top lane here.
There's a stopwatch again, popped by Jax. The ultimatum, Hex Tech ultimatum, has been used, and Camille picks up the kill onto Jax.
Yes, and with that stopwatch already being used for Jax, Jax has now sold it to complete his Trinity Force. He also has those early game boots. This is absolutely amazing what I'm seeing right now. There is a lot of action happening, there was a lot of aggression, and, you know, ESM Blue are just proving to be very powerful. They are proving to be very powerful, very vulnerable, and very, you know, they're being very, very communicative with one another. They are responding to each other incredibly well and is rewarding themselves very handsomely. They have a 5,000 gold lead to start with. They've got a dragon buff now, and that is a cloud dragon, so that is out of combat movement speed, which will help them with roaming the map. And, you know, just collectively, each and every single one on their team is ahead of their counterpart. The only person that is a little bit behind is Shyvana by at least 200 gold, but that's no problem. Sorry, Sejuani. My apologies, folks, but that's not really much of a problem.
But we do have an engage onto Xin Zhao. He's forced to flash away from this as Camille does her bit. And Sejuani, she does have her ultimate up, but she's not going to use it. She knows she doesn't have to use it to disengage from these champions. And it's really good because she knows when to use it.
Yes, absolutely, and it is just incredible what we're witnessing right now. Just towards the bot lane, we seem to have an instant revenge play right here. You know, they took the bottom T1 turret. Now, yeah, the boys have just done the revenge part. They have just counteracted.
Yeah, but we look at mid lane again. Whoa! Camille gets a huge kill onto Malzahar, and that's gonna be another one under Camille's belt.
That was an absolute engage by Camille. Just that hook onto the wall and just bounce out to catch out Malzahar. Just absolutely, it was an absolute flawless engage. I'll say by myself, really.
Exactly, and because of that, they were able to take the first tier turret. They're using Rift now to take the second tier turret in mid lane, and they're just gonna back away from this because they have gained a huge lead. This lead is gonna put them so far ahead. I don't know how, yeah, the boys might be able to bring this back. They do eventually have Jax taking up this first tier turret, but that's not going to be enough. That's not going to compensate for the 2 turrets they lost down mid lane, and Jax might be in trouble now. They have Varus and Lulu trying to look for this Jax. Ultimate coming out from Varus as Jax tries to dodge away from this, and he's not going to be enough. He's forced to flash and escape from that one, but the flash is gone.
Over towards the mid lane, oh man, Syndra being caught out by that ulti right there with a 1-by combo.
Good disengage, however, but it just wasn't enough. Janna picks up the kill in the end.
Ah, yes, the attack damage support, I believe we're going to start witnessing right here. Just the 1-3-1 compared to her, her partner as a 1-2-1. But we might see it, we might see more action happening. So Xayah is a late game based champion. She's still yet to come online. She hasn't finished her first item yet, and I'm very curious as to what she is building into right now. Normally, or should I say commonly, it is like, it's very normal for a Xayah to go straight into an Essence Reaver to start it off, just because of the mana regen, the cooldown reduction, the crit, the damage. It's like a nice all-round package. And I see how she's building. She's gone straight for the Berserker's Greaves.
Yeah. But we do have Xin Zhao. He's forced to use the ultimate. Now that's gone for disengage. It will be back, but I mean, that is an ultimate gone for the next minute and a half.
Absolutely, but it does help him get away with that disengage, because knocking him outside of that ring and giving him that ranged invulnerability. Like, anyone standing outside of that ring will pretty much do no damage to him whatsoever, and that includes Malzahar with his Malefic Visions. And if those are not familiar with the names of the abilities, that is his E, which is a damage over time ability. So even if he has that on Xin Zhao as well as he ultis Xin Zhao, he's going to do no damage as long as he remains outside of that circle.
Yeah, but Xin Zhao is on Malzahar's team, so that's not going to be a problem.
No, but it's a very good visual example of how his ultimate works. Because I have seen a lot of people still get confused with Xin Zhao and his ulti. Like, I've seen like down in the bottom lane earlier on when he died to Varus. You saw Syndra and him trying to poke onto him, but because he had his circle up and they were outside of those circles, they were doing no damage until Varus became inside almost at melee range. Well, speaking of Varus coming in with that ultimate under the turret. Tika, we are having an absolute bot lane fiesta here.
Yeah, he tries to land it, but that's another ultimate gone. Now they have they have one ultimate gone from the Varus. That's a good lockdown that is gone. They do still have the Glacial Prison, but that might not be enough to lock down the entire team. But they are going to be able to take the second tier turret down bot lane, opening up the map even more, and they won't keep pushing this lane. But top lane, the second tier turret is down to half health. Camille has done her job, and she's going to walk away from this, and will be coming back later. But she's going to back on top of a ward, which is fairly dangerous.
Can be very dangerous, but can also work well, seeing as, she has the advantage over Jax. She has their item collection. They are very close in items at the moment, but when we look over towards the gold accumulation, she is at least a 1300 gold ahead, and that is essentially a BF sword, or better yet, a Sheen. Any item she chooses is still going to be a big advantage she will have over Jax. And once that, Counter-Strike had, I'm pretty sure it's called Counter-Strike. I have to double check this ability right now. Let's see. Yes, Counter-Strike. The minute that is popped, he is going to be in a spot of bother. He is going to be a sponge that is going to soak up a lot more water than what he is able to.
Yeah, but I mean, the Counter-Strike, he does threaten it quite a bit, but it just, right now, he hasn't been able to use the Counter-Strike to its full potential, to be able to get that stun onto multiple enemies and be able to lock them down for the rest of his team to come in and secure the kills.
Absolutely, and you are completely correct. But looking towards our team comp, we have, Xin Zhao, we have Ajana, Zaya, and Malzahar. None of them are really good as a frontline tank for Jax to be able to get that, to get that Counter-Strike in comfortably and easily.
Exactly, but we do have a pause coming out. But as that pause is coming out, I just want to focus on, as you said before, they don't have any substantial frontline tanks, and that's going to be a huge problem when team fights come out. We have Monash, sorry, Monash. They do have Sejuani. That is a substantial frontline tank, and compare that to the opposing jungler. Compare that to the opposing top laner, Jax and Xin Zhao. They're bruisers.
Absolutely, and coming up against the semi-tank as well as a duelist like a Camille, it's going to be it's sort of looking towards the favor of ESM at the moment. Like, just that Sejuani with her CC capabilities. Like, just the minute Jax and Xin Zhao get caught out, it's going to be very problematic. And they're both very good single target based champions, whereas Camille and Sejuani are both good with multiple base attacks.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And with looking at the Xin Zhao, I believe his health is just not enough to tank anything. And so right now, he can't help. The only thing that he might be able to do is use his ultimate, but that's only up for a few seconds. And that is not going to be enough to tank a full team fight. And so, I mean, I'm sorry, but these picks, Jax, Xin Zhao, they need a tank. They need someone to be their frontline tank to be able to peel for their carries.
Absolutely, and having two champions of the same role in this, in a single team can, it's like you're sacrificing another role that would be very, very good efficiency for a team-based action. All because of, the fact that, the single position that they're both taking are very good for picking, especially in the early game phase. But when you come to the late game phase and you are not fed, you're going to be a problem. Well, you're going to be a problem for your own team. Not the enemy team, your own team.
Exactly, and they're all they're mostly single target champions, but Zaya is gonna be the Sejuani. Sejuani's gonna get locked down, but as I said before, she's a huge tank, and she's tanking up so much of this damage. They're gonna be able to turn this around. In comes the Varus ultimate. Zaya might be able to pick up one of Sejuani, finally, but that is not gonna be enough, as a good disengage comes out from the Syndra, and now Jax is in trouble down bot lane. So Camille trying to get a pick up. Janna actually gets a pick onto Syndra, but down goes Jax to Camille. Varus gets a pick onto Xin Zhao. Malzahar is the only one left in his team, and Varus is chasing him down.
That was just an absolutely stunning performance. Just Varus coming in with that rapid fire on his basic attacks. His ability to take the kill, or should I say his passive, where he gets the extra attack speed on getting a kill or assist, just came to his favor. It came to his aid. And with that, he managed to secure quite a few kills, especially with Lulu saving him with that stat boost. And as you said earlier in the game, or should I say in the Champion Select, that stat boost has proven to be very reliable, especially at this point in the game. Like, that team fight was not looking well on the side of, ESM Blue. But the minute he managed to get himself in a position to be able to tackle them with that Renan's Hurricane, he just came to life. He's back. He's completely up and about right now.
Exactly. And off the back of that, they got an inhibitor turret from the bot lane. They got the last second tier turret up top lane. And they get the Baron, and that was a huge team fight, able to get them so many objectives, and that puts them at just under 10,000 gold lead.
Just right there. That is a good example for everyone watching that. That was a very good example of what it means to capitalize on such a fight. You get an ace on their team almost, and you pretty much have at least enough people to take up that Baron. They went for it. They went for the Baron. They had a very good split push to take that inhibitor turret, as you said. They managed to get a 4-man kill on the side of, the boys. The boys were completely out on people. They had no one to contest the Baron shot right there. And ESM just went for it. They knew it. They knew they were not going to be contested, and they just went for it. And it is just working so well for them right now. They almost have a 10,000 gold lead between the two. They have 4 extra turrets on top of they have 2 dragons, one of them being a mountain dragon, which is very good for, you know, objective pushing. That is for taking the Baron, another dragon. You know, I believe super minions, and I think epic camps as well, or should I say large mini camps. You know, it's just very good to, you know, just get the farm as well as push the objectives.
Yeah, but Sejuani actually tried to get a pick onto Janna. Wasn't going to be able to lock her down. But as I said before, the Howling Gale is a really good disengage tip, but it's not going to be good enough at this point in the game. There's going to be a miracle. Xin Zhao using the ultimate, trying to disengage, but Varus gets a pick up on him. He goes down. Jax gets a kill into Varus finally, but Syndra returns it, gets a kill into Jax, and they're diving under chart. It's a 3v2 now. Sejuani is tanking so much right now. Howling Gale isn't going to be enough. It actually is, and they're going to be able to disengage with 2 members of their team left alive, but this is not going to be enough because their inhibitor chart is falling down, and they are continuing to look for this inhibitor as well. It's 19-9. Malzahar and Janna can't do anything about this, and Camille is looking for that bot lane inhibitor.
That was an absolutely amazing display we have just witnessed right there. Just that top lane action right there. So this is where Sejuani is an absolute like beast of a frontline tank.
Oh, but Sejuani is tanking up a lot more. Nethergross is used onto Lulu, but it's not going to be enough damage. The shield coming onto Sejuani, saving her life as she escapes by the hair of her whiskers. A flash coming out from 2 members from opposing teams. Malzahar is gone, and now they're going to be able to escape from that one. And
focusing on the Malzahar right there, his ability to get the Malefic Visions on both Sejuani being at critical health as well as Sidra on critical health as to double it up. He almost managed to claim the double kill, but Lulu's shield has proven to become very reliable at this point in the game. She actually managed to soak up all of the damage that they were going to receive. Like, that would have been 2 easy kills if Lulu was not there to protect them.
Exactly, and because of that, they were able to pick up another Cloud Drake, and now they have 2 Cloud Drakes. They got 1 Mountain Drake. They'll be able to rotate very quickly. They'll be able to take down objectives very quickly. And because of that, this is going to be, if they decide to finish, if they decide to push to win, they'll be able to do it fairly easily.
And looking to talk about having the advantage, we seem to have quite a lot of Framer fans here in the chat. See, looking at Framer's score, I'm feeling like a little bit of a fan as well right now. I like the Camille gameplay. Camille is a very favourable champion. I like how she looks. I like her playstyle. Unfortunately, I just don't have the skills as Framer does to be able to, you know, pull off such ridiculous skills. Like, you know, I would love to do those Dancer Blades. Like, those legs are really lethal. Literally, they are lethal weapons.
Yeah, they do deal quite a bit of damage, especially with her kill. Especially with the amount of kills that she's gotten, and the CS, she's dishing out a lot of damage. She's got Ravenous Hydra, but the Nethergross has been used. The ultimate is going to miss, but that is not going to be enough. So Sejuani picks up a kill on the Xin Zhao, and now they're trying to focus down the tanks. Not the tanks, sorry, the carries, and down goes Zyra. Varus gets a pick onto her, and they now might be focusing on the inhibitor, and they try to take this down. Sejuani is going to be able to take them out, Malzahar, and down goes Janna as well. And
that's 4-man. That's 4-man for Yeah the Boys right there. That is 4-man down for Yeah the Boys. Jax is still alive. ESM are really coming alive here. They are really like lighting up the party for now.
And Yeah the Boys, Jax, he can't do anything about this. They got 5 members pushing down this Nexus turrets, and they will be able to take this game away so easily, as I said before, and that's going to be game 1 to ESM Blue.
Now with the game completion, let's go over to the stats boards and take a look at the, you know, the difference between the two. Like, you know, the damage stats, the control, the ward controlling, as well as, you know, just the damage absorption. Like, that Sejuani looked like she soaked up a lot of damage, enough to feed an entire, you know, an entire third world, you know, country village at Christmas.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
I will let you catch your breath for a brief little moment, my friend.
Alright. That was a good Alright, let me just
look over towards the stats. We see quite a lot of damage done from Varus, but Malzahar managing to top the charts at 19,000. That is a lot of damage Malzahar managed to poke out. It's really odd that he managed to poke out a lot of damage, but his efforts end up becoming fruitless, because it looks, if we look over towards the damage taken, we see Sejuani has taken 31,000 damage, and I can only assume that that is quite a lot of damage that is being sustained so far. And I must quickly fix up. Right, there we go. That looks much better. I love it when my OBS decides to have a little fiddle with me. But yes, so those who just to recap, looking at the damage done, we seem to have 16,000 damage done from Varus, and Varus was very pro-efficient within that game, especially in those team phases. The first initial when he got that triple kill, being ulted by Lulu, getting that big size boost, as well as the damage boost and the passive accumulation from getting an assist or a kill, and working on top of, or should I say, comboing it with his Renan's Hurricane, his Guinzo's Rage Blade. It just came to life, and he just completely deleted, yeah, the boys right there. And then looking over at Malzahar, we have 19,000 damage, a staggering huge amount, and obviously a majority of it being magic damage. But it just couldn't fully deliver. And coming over to the damage taken and healed, we see Sejuani has soaked up at least 31,000 of that right there. Now that is quite a lot of damage that she has managed to soak up, and having that Warmogs has actually enabled her to withstand a lot of damage and stay in the fray for a lot longer. pick right there. She can be very problematic once fed, but also very easy to control if you know how to control her. The Camille, another target ban happening as well on this side. This is a very interesting matchup right now. We seem to have a lot of target bans happening for the boys.
Yeah, exactly, and they do miss out on a ban. However, we might need to know why that happened.
I believe on the side of the boys, they actually had to put in a sub, so they did have to miss out on a 1 to 3 ban disqualification right there.
Okay, that makes sense. But we do have a Shyvana ban coming out as well, and explain why. Why would Shyvana come out? Why is she such a good jungle pick?
She's very good at clearing her camps. She's very good at closing the gap, mainly in towards the late game because her abilities are very good engage. And if she is very objective, she's a very objective hungry based champion, especially towards the dragons, seeing as her passive gives her extra armor and magic resistance, and that can be very problematic, especially for a Sejuani, I believe.
Yeah, but we do have 2 jungle picks coming out as the first pick, Sejuani, and the unexpected, we have an Ivern.
Yes, I've not seen Ivan very often in this current patch. It's very interesting to see how much this patch has affected him so far. Like, I know ever since Ardent Sensor has been nerfed, he has been quite scarce on the rifts, but we might see something new. We might see, the return of an Ivern in this match.
Yeah, true. But we do have a Vayne pick as well, and I mean, if they're able to scale into this late game, this Vayne is going to be very, very dangerous. But looking at Gangplank, he has come in as a pick as well.
Yes, directing my attention towards the chat. Mini Artillery has actually decided to mention to us that Shyvana can actually take down a dragon at level 4 if she plays it well. That is absolutely true. And I also failed to mention the second part of her passive as Shyvana is that she does 10% more damage to dragons. And hello, talk about heavy damage. We have a Zoe pick here, folks.
Yes! This is going to be a lot of fun. So we have a Zoe pick into a Vel'Koz, and I am going to be having so much fun here because the Vel'Koz.
I feel like your brain just juiced a little bit seeing a particular pick here, mate.
I love casting a Zoe game. It's just amazing to see how much damage a Zoe can dish out, especially to squishy champions like Ivern, like Vayne, like Vel'Koz. I just want to see how she plays it out.
Yes, if she can time her sleep very well, it could be very problematic for Vel'Koz, especially if she gets an entire wombo combo out onto him. He won't be able to do enough research to disintegrate her. She's going to disintegrate him if she gets given that opportunity right there.
Yeah, but not only the Vel'Koz, but especially the Vayne. If she gets slept, she doesn't have her tumble open. She doesn't have the dodge mechanics, but we're going to focus on the bans now. We have a Xayah. We're going to have 2 ADC bans focused on Derps McGee, the Xayah and the Tristana.
Yes, that's very interesting. Seeing as Xayah was picked in the last game, for the boys, and it did not work well in their favor. But it's interesting to see that they're going to have her banned out this time around.
Yeah, true. But we also have a Karma and a Janna ban coming out. So those are 2 support-focused picks. Now Mog, he performed so well on the Janna. Not Mog. Rough Rhino. Who played Janna? Rough Rhino, I believe?
Jana was on the left side last time. Jana was on the boys, and this time they decided to ban her out. So the boys won't be able to get that a second time, but it looks like they have managed to compensate by picking a Braum pick.
Yes, and this Braum pick is actually going to be very, very crucial in protecting the carry because the Zoe.
Absolutely, and seeing as we have a Vayne here, possibly as our ADC, that's going to be very interesting. Since you have said protect the carry, having a Vayne as your carry, being able to protect her is just going to create a whole world of hurt for ESM, for the boys right there.
Exactly, and we're going to focus on the other ADC. It's the Ashe. Now, Ashe into hovering Malzahar.
That is the second time around we are seeing this Malzahar picked in this game. That is most likely going to be a Zoe support.
Okay, so we're going to see a Zoe support. Now, how do you think... Oh, this is fun. a Zoe support into a Braum and a Vayne.
Yes. Please explain to the viewers how this is going to be very fun. I'm very your tone of voice has really got me curious. How is this going to be very fun?
Okay, so Zoe, she has the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Braum does have his shield, and if Zoe manages to land a Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto Vayne, Braum will have to do his best to put a shield up and stop all the damage that Zoe wants to dish out onto the Vayne. Now, it does actually look like a Malzahar support, however.
A Malzahar support. This is proving to be a very interesting matchup. It could be very powerful with, if he makes use of the Malefic Visions, as well as, spawning his minions to actually just chase down the enemy ADC. It could be very fun. It could be very interesting. But as well, he might actually never run out of mana, because every time any form of unit dies with his Malefic Visions debuff on it, he does get that mana regeneration. So if, we could possibly see him putting his Malefic Visions down to help Ashe clear that, the waves pretty soon, or should I say pretty early. And, just sort of, jump and bounce that Malefic Visions all the way up until it hits either the ADC or the support. And at that point, he could spawn those minions and just send them down towards, ESM. Just let them run that free. Just let them run down the lane. Just let them poke a little bit and give the boys a little bit more legroom in the lane phase. Because I'm pretty sure in the last game, ESM proved to be they did have a little bit of trouble in the early early stages of the game. But they did come back really well, and it really worked out well for them. It really worked out in their favor.
Yeah, it did. But the amount of CC this bot lane has right now, once they hit level 6, it is going to be stun lock. Malzahar with the Nether Grasp, as well as the Ashe Enchanted Arrow. And if Braum doesn't put up his shield fast enough, it's going to be game over for this Vayne.
Absolutely, but I'm curious to see if they can actually get this Vayne online when it comes towards the teamfighting situations. That Sejuani might actually be able to knock them out of the fray. That combination right there, the Sejuani, Glacial Prison, along with Gangplank's, cannon, just the giant cannon barrage he has there in his ulti, just those two abilities right there, just spell evil disaster, for the sides of ESM on the right.
Yeah, now that you mention it, their entire team has some form of crowd control. We got Gangplank, he does have his barrels, and it does provide a slow. He also has his ultimate, which also provides a slow if he upgrades it right. Sejuani has the Glacial Prison. Zoe has her Sleepy Trouble Bubble, as well as the Ashe Enchanted Arrow, Malzahar Nether Grasp. This is going to be a Vayne focus, really. A Vayne focus game.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a very interesting game that we're about to unfold as we go to a quick little short break while we get ourselves synced up and ready for game 2 between ESM and the boys.
Can they... Alright. So.
30 seconds until minions.
Whoa! Alright, so we have ESM. They might be looking for this blue buff, this early invade. But, yeah, the boys, they do have some vision. They might be looking for this red as well. They don't know that ESM... I don't know what they're doing.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah. Now, I want to focus on these champions for a second. Now, Sejuani was taken away from Aerie, and we saw that Aerie was very comfortable on Sejuani. And now, it's sort of, we're gonna see who's the better Sejuani. Kilderness? Kilderness. Yeah, okay, I'll start Kilderness or Aerie. And I want to see who's a better Sejuani. Now, we see Ivern has stolen the blue buff, and it's like a... yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Ivern has great jungle steals. He can do it within, I'd say, 2 seconds. He can steal a jungle camp in 2 seconds. But bot lane, Brawl might be looking something on the Ashe. He's got his passive stacked up, and she gets stunned. But Ignite isn't going to be enough, as it doesn't kill her quick enough. And Vayne does use Tumble, but it's just not going to be good enough. Oh, but Zoe almost got bursted down by the Vel'Koz. Now, in this mid lane, this Vel'Koz is dominating. Even though he's getting pushed, he is still winning a trade. And now Ivern is looking for a gank down bot lane. He does flash, and he does get the slow from his shield, and they're trying to dish out some damage. Malzahar has a fourth, has a concussive blow, and Ivern is going to pick up the kill on that one. But Ashe gets a return one onto Vayne, and the concussive blow onto Ashe isn't going to be enough. Now, Gnar is in trouble. Sejuani is forced to try and get something onto Gnar. This isn't going to be able to, as Gnar has a great... the hyper stack is going to be used in his favor. Ivern, yep. Yeah, and I mean, Ivern right now, he's ahead of his opposing jungler. Now, he has 17 CS, he's got a kill ahead, and it shows in his gold difference as well. He's 500 gold ahead of his opposing jungler, and this might give him the advantage he needs to be able to help the rest of his team in team fights or ganking lanes. Yeah, but Gnar, he isn't running pressy attack, but we're looking at Ivern. He's looking dangerous now. Zoe is trying to use the paddle star to try and get a kill onto Ivern, and she's going to be able to do so, but with her auto attacks now, Vel'Koz has a huge combo, but isn't going to be enough, as he might get caught out by the Sejuani. He's forced to cleanse and escape from this one. Malzahar is looking dangerous as well. Vel'Koz coming around the back, and Malzahar is trapped. He might be able to escape from this, but into the enemy jungle, and now we've got these guys surrounded. ESM Blue, they are trying to get a kill onto Sejuani. The concussive blow is not going to be good enough as Ashe picks up a kill onto Vayne. Zoe finally picks up a kill onto Vel'Koz, and Ashe another one onto Braum.
To those in the chat notifying me about my microphone, I completely apologize. I thought I had myself completely set up for game number 2. You have caught me out on that one right there.
Whoops.
Oh well, there's always going to be those technical difficulties, especially using multimedia. It just can get very confusing. There's always going to be that one small slip up.
I was talking to myself, wasn't I?
Maybe just by a little bit, but it's all right. At least I'm never ever as lucky as never ever lucky as right now. Like, he is very, very, very challenging himself. He is challenging his ability to stay alive and be very aggressive.
Yeah, that is true. And Rough Rhino. Now, how do you think, like, this Malzahar support isn't going as well as you'd expect it to go? Now, his passive is up quite a bit, but the Braum, when the Void Shift is up, the Braum is able to take it down very quickly, and they use it to their advantage. It's amazing. But Ashe is dangerously low. They're trying to get a pick on her on the turn, and they're going to be able to do so with the Ignite and the last auto attack from the Vayne, and she is dangerously low, but Malzahar might not be able to get her out.
No, unfortunately not, but we seem to have an invasion coming here from Zoe, and she manages to pop off and get that kill. That was absolute
paddle star.
That was an absolutely amazing gameplay from her right there. She maximized her Q range and actually got the kill down on Mei's Bay. Clearly, she was looking for her Bay, and she got what she wanted.
That was a huge one, but now Sejuani might get caught up. The Paddle Star isn't going to do enough damage to Braum, however, as he has his Unbreakable up.
Brave teams are very aggressive right now, especially with Vel'Koz with that disintegration right there.
Exactly, and I mean, he doesn't get a pickup on, and he's very pushed up in this jungle, and they're gonna back away from this with the Ivern, and the Zoe is also going to roam. Might meet the Vel'Koz as Ivern is trying to get engaged. The stopwatch is popped onto Gangplank under Tart, and he's forced to flash away from this. Gnar, however, no, Daisy is chasing him, and Gnar is going to be able to get the final pickup on him. The flash coming out from Zoe, as she might and will get a huge kill onto Vel'Koz.
Zoe is really proving to show how powerful she can be right now. Beats is really just setting everything off. He is really lighting up the party right here.
Yes, and it shows. He's got 59 CS, and you don't expect CS advantage coming out from the Zoe, but it is happening. She's got 4 kills ahead. She's got 1 assist to her name, and she's got 62 CS.
It's a very close matchup happening right now, but over towards the bottom lane. Oh!
Nethergrasp is used onto Vayne, and that is the dangerous part about this bot lane. Ashe actually doesn't have the enchanted.
Ouch!
The concussive blow is going to be able to manage to get down that Ashe, and Vayne picks up a kill onto that one. Malzahar isn't going to do enough. He's not a good enough support to be able to pick one up. Zoe tries to use a Paddle Star to get another pick, but the Vayne good tumble away from that Sleepy Trouble Bubble. But we do have the Glacial Prison as locked in on the Vayne, and she cannot escape from that one as Zoe picks up her 5th kill of the game.
That was a completely clean 1-for-1 trade like that, and unfortunately to Ashe, as soon as I saw that 4th stack get hit by Vayne, oh sheesh, I will say that hurt my marble sack just then, folks. That was just an absolute ball wrecker right there. It's like you are held on the edge of your seat. You think Ashe is going to get away, but no, Vayne dodge rolls in and gets that final stack, stunning her, pushing her into the wall, and just completely securing that kill. Ivern's jungle is looking very, very alive right now. Just lights everywhere. We see the blue camp lit. We see the Gromp lit. And the minute those things completely highlight, they are just free camps for him right there. Doesn't have to do anything really.
Exactly, and the flash comes out on Zoe as well. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is there, but Vel'Koz has done well to have the cleanse up every time the Sleepy Trouble Bubble has landed, and he's going to be able to escape from that relatively unscathed.
Yes, that was a very clean cleanse from him right there. I was worried for Vel'Koz for a moment there. I will admit, I was very worried for him. But then as soon as I saw that cleanse, I'm just like, absolutely amazing work from him like that. Making perfect use of that cleanse. Unfortunately, he does have a big cooldown, so he will be in a pickle if he gets caught again.
Yeah, true. But in comes the concussive blow again, as well as the ultimate as well. And the Ashe is going to be able to lock down that Vayne. And Braum is in danger now. That's a double kill pick up from the Ashe.
Absolutely. This is a very, very aggressive matchup. So far, it is working well in the favor of ESM once more. They have now, like, Derp's Mage is doing well with his ability to claim everything.
No.
Like, 5 kills, 2 deaths, 3 assists, a little bit behind in farm, but then we look over at the Zoe with that kill again. I can definitely tell that hurt your marble sack right then, Tico, as now she is claiming 6 kills on top of. Over towards the top lane, it's a very clean matchup, but Naya has a huge CS advantage. Look at that,
He does.
66 to 102.
Mega Knight is getting a pick onto the Sejuani. Is going to be able to secure that. Zoe is here as well, though. Tries to use the ultimate over the wall. Isn't going to be able to do so. But Iron picks up the kill, however, onto Gangplank. And they will be able to take the turret off the back of this.
I think Ivan is looking a little lane shy right there. Just look at the amount of bushes. That's a clean line.
True. They don't, but a flash comes out from Nar as he tries to get a pick up into Zoe. The flash coming out from her as well as she
Ouch!
from Spell Thief. The ultimate isn't going to be enough. Stopwatch has been used by Zoe, but it won't be enough as Ivern gets his 3rd kill of the game onto the carry of, the boys.
Yeah, the boys are on the left-hand side this time around. ESM are on the right, and Framer doing very well, you know, turning this gaming into a framing as one of our viewers are completely fanboying over right now. Oh, coming into that disintegration, just managed to get out.
Yes. Derp McGee is going to be able to escape from that with the hair of his whiskers, as I like to say. Never Brass has been used onto the Braum, and he's not going to be able to escape from that either, as Malzahar picks up a kill onto him.
That was an unfortunate timely end right there to Mog and Never Ever Lucky. Never Ever Lucky is never lucky right now. He seems to be on a 4 death spree right there. His CS is falling behind, but he also has that 4 deaths, which is not working well for his team. Especially with that Zoe starting to get, you know, she's starting to build, she's starting to get bigger. She is, you know, the player behind, Beats, is also going to be getting even more confident in his ability to actually, you know, use Zoe effectively. And, you know, if a person gets very confident behind their champion, especially during game, and on a champion like Zoe, it's only going to get worse, you know, as the game progresses.
Yeah, exactly, and she's huge. She has 7 kills, 1 assist, 1 death. She is at a full item ahead of Vel'Koz. She's already finished her Morellonomicon, and Vel'Koz is still trying to finish his. And look at the gold difference. She is 3,000 gold ahead of Vel'Koz.
Yes, and it's just only going to get much worse. It is about as strong as Framer versus Manic right now. Just 102 to 83. Going over towards the, you know, the gold accumulation right there, we see 4,500 to 5,300, and that is almost 1,000 gold lead to Gnar. And historically, Gangplank should be the one in front, seeing as, you know, his parlay just gives him the ability to actually get that free farm. Speaking of, speaking of Gangplank right now, he had quite the barrel turnaround right there, but now is meeting a 2-for-1 trade-off.
Yeah, and they have swap lanes here, and it does look like Darth McKee, bot lane are trying to push down this 1st tier turret and get the 2nd turret of the game, and they will eventually be able to do so. But down in this bot lane, Gangplank is going to look for something. Glacial Fissure is not going to land. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is there. Unbreakable, as we saw, has been used very effectively as he's able to mitigate a lot of the damage that Zoe wanted to dish out to that Vayne. And now, looking up this top lane, we do have actually, bot lane. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands onto Braum as in comes Redemption. Zoe is going to get locked down by the Ivern, but Netherrust top lane. Gnar is being locked down right now, but he's going into Mega Gnar's form soon, but maybe too soon.
Knockdown!
Has been used as well the disintegration rate, and Mega Gnar is now gone down to the Ashe, but not before he could get a huge ultimate onto the rest of the team. But that's not going to be enough as bot lane. Zoe tries to get a pick onto one of the two, but he's not going to be able to do so. She uses Redemption to escape with more health.
Just Nara is really showing how much of a data he really is towards ESM right now. Just knocking him into the wall and trying to get away before that volley, meeting his fatal end. He's just proving how powerful he can really be. He is showing them how much of a problem he can be, and they need to control him if they want to actually do something here. But ESM right now are showing to be very formidable.
Yeah, ESM Blue, they are so far behind. You can see, well, I mean, not the entire team is so far behind, but you can see the difference between the mid laners is huge. And all the gold, most of the gold difference between these two teams are in the mid lane.
Absolutely. It's a very interesting matchup happening right now. Ari is still showing us how formidable he is as a jungler. He has at least got almost a 10 CS advantage right now to Sejuani. He has 3 kills and 2 assists on top of. He is building very efficiently. The only thing pardon me everybody, the only thing I'm finding interesting is that he hasn't cleared his jungle item yet.
Oh, but the Nether Grasp is not going to be used as Malzahar is going to go down fairly quickly to Vayne, and Zoe is trying to escape from Daisy, but there might be a third proc coming out. The concussive blow isn't going to be enough. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands onto Daisy, and that's not the right target that you want for a Zoe.
Oh, May is definitely looking for his Bay as Zoe tries to get away from that. May is really showing us how Vayne can come online right now. Just absolutely amazing.
Exactly, and she's only got a static shiv, but that is actually substantially better. Well, it's not so much better, but right now she is able to get a huge CS lead onto Ashe, and that brings her at fairly even with the Ashe.
Yes, but talking about uneven as well, looking towards the bottom lane on the mini-map.
Oh.
No, coming back towards the mid lane. What do we see, Tico?
Yeah, we see a huge Rift Herald play coming in from the mid lane. They're trying to take the second tier turret as they did in the top lane, and Gangplank is going to be able to secure that second tier turret, and Sejuani is low. Framer gets a pick onto her as they're going to try and escape from this. Redemption isn't going to be quick enough as Braum is trying to focus him down, but Framer is right behind him in Mega Gnar form. He does have his ultimate up, but it's not going to be used as they're just going to disengage from it.
There was a very interesting trade-off happening right there. Like, they got the turret, but then Gnar managed to take down Sejuani, so, as a simple trade.
Oh, in comes the Enchanted Crystal out. It lands onto Vel'Koz, but he's not going to be able to get a pick. Nether Grasp is used onto Braum, and that's not the right target. Down goes Ashe to the Vayne, and Vayne is popping off right now. She is at 4 kills, 5 deaths, and Vayne is used final hour. She tries to get a pick onto Gangplank, is going to be able to secure one eventually with the help of Daisy, and May is definitely Bay for this team right now.
Absolutely, and I just love how you just pointed that out. That is an absolute well-timed terminology used right there. She has completely come online now, just getting those 2 kills. The first onto Ashe, and then the second onto I believe it was to Sejuani. No, to Gangplank. She is really coming online now, and with that BF sword, she's gonna get worse.
As we mentioned before, in the
champion selection.
That's the word. In the champion select, this is a team that is looking to protect the carry, one that can scale hard into the late game. Braum does so well with his Unbreakable. He has blocked a couple of Zoe's Paddle Stars, and that really help Vayne scale into the late game, well, mid game right now, and off the back of that, they're going to be able to secure Cloud Drake so they can rotate a lot quicker now. But, I mean, Ivern is doing his work as well. He does have Redemption, he does have the Michael's Crucible, as well as he looks like he's building into the Locket of the Iron Solari. So he is definitely a support jungler, and this is a support for the Vayne. So now she has 2 supports. She's got Braum's Unbreakable, and she has Ivern, who's got a heal, Michael's Crucible, and is building towards the Locket of the Iron Solari for the shielding.
To be fair, the combination he's gone for right now, like just the shields and heals that he can provide, or should I say, just mainly the shields that he can supply, are just getting ever stronger with the accumulation of those items. Like Redemption on its own gives him extra shields and healing, and since that acts as a heal, that's one form of healing right then and there. And then he also has a bubble that he just puts onto an ally, so it's like, he's at least got, let's say, I think that is let's see, we have 10%, we have 20% on top of as well, so that's a 30% bonus towards his shields and heals, and that's going to be very powerful, especially since in a team fight situation, as he is always with the team. Like, I don't think you'll never see him without the team, really, because he can just clear the camps while being with the team almost.
Exactly, but we are looking at a skirmish in the mid lane right now. There's a lot of Sleepy Trouble Bubbles landing onto the Braum, but that's not the right target. She wants to land them on the squishies because Braum does have Unbreakable and he can stop a lot of the damage that she wants to dish out. Bear in mind, she still dishes out a lot of damage, especially with her Unbreakable still up, but looks like an engage from Sejuani. In comes the ultimate from Gangplank. She tries to tank a lot of damage, but she can't. This integration rate is going to be able to take her down fairly quickly, but not before she's able to take the Glacial Prison onto him, and down goes Braum to Gangplank. Vayne is able to secure it onto Sejuani, and Gangplank is going to be able to take down the carry eventually, but Nart has focused down Zoe as well. So that's 2 hyper carries taken down as Nart gets a pick onto the other ADC, onto Ashe, and now Malzahar is alone with Gangplank, but Gangplank can't do much right now because he's under half health.
Yes, looking towards the recap of that gameplay, just Framer is really showing us how much of a gamer he can really be, and he is really popping off right now. He has got 2 completed items to start with. Let's look at those items. That is a frozen mallet. That is an instant slow to keep the gap between the enemy very close. Then he's also got the Ninja Tabi boots, which you know, minimizes basic attack damage, which Gangplank and Ashe, you know, provide for the early game.
But we do have an engage onto Sejuani, not onto Sejuani, sorry, the Nart. He goes into Mega Knight form, and he might be able to mitigate a lot of this damage. He doesn't have ultimate up, however, so he won't be able to get, with his 3 other members on his team behind him, he won't be able to do much because he doesn't have ultimate. Sleepy Trouble Bubble does land onto Vel'Koz, however, and he's dangerously low, but he will be able to escape from this. With Unbreakable on Braum, is able to stop a lot of the damage that they wanted to shot. But Sleepy Trouble Bubble has landed onto him as well. As
here we go!
The disintegration rate does land, but it's not going to be enough. Matic gets the kill onto him. The Nethergrass does land onto Braum, and Zoe picks up the kill for that one, and they will be going for Baron. No, actually, they might not. But Baron is open, and they might be looking for it.
This is feeling like a Mouse and Powers game right now. Just Mouse is, you know, locking him down with that, you know, with that Nether Grasp, and just his powers are clearing him up.
Oh, but we have final hour being popped by the Vayne, and that is very dangerous, however, as Zoe gets taken down with that Silver Bolt, and the Glacial Prison does land, but it will not be enough, as she's able to stop a lot of this damage that they want to dish out. She does miss the Enchanted Arrow, as Vayne does use final hour, and gets a huge pick onto Ashe. That's a quadra kill, and she's able to get an ace onto this team.
Mei is looking for a lot of bears right now as she manages to claim a triple kill straight off the bat there. She has gone from a negative KDA to just absolutely flomping the scoreboard. She's got a 2k, you know, kill assist to death ratio happening right there with 183 farm. The way Mei is playing right now, I want her to be my Mei.
And they have brought this game back. Look at the gold difference. It's minuscule. They're both at 44,000 gold. Bear in mind the 200 gold difference. But that's going to change when this Baron is being taken down. And, I mean, they've turned this completely around. As we said before, the Vayne can pop off so easily. And with that Baron, they've come ahead in the gold lead for the first time in this game, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. And seeing as Sejuani last game was very powerful as the frontline tank, she is now being, you know, she's being tested quite heavily. Vayne is pretty much her counterpart right now. Just, you know, with that three basic attack stack, it's just absolutely going to be no problem for her. And, you know, as long as Sejuani stays out of game when she's at critical health, she'll be able to do something. But it looks like they're not really going to. Looks like Mei is not looking to give her that opportunity right now. And Framer, the gamer, just absolutely being destructive on the battlefield. He is very tanky right now for their team, and it's just absolutely going to get worse as he gets, you know, stronger. Hitting that Mega Knight form, he's just proving to be even more of a bad person to the enemy team. I'll keep it PG here, folks.
But final hour has been popped by the Vayne again. Nethergrass is going to be able to stop her from getting a kill onto the Gangplank, but he is looking for some more. Sejuani is taking down both the Silver Bolts, and Mei has gone unstoppable. Daisy is looking for a pick onto Gangplank. Does have one proc, but Zoe is going to try and dish out a bit of damage to the Vayne. This integration rate has been used, and Ivern gets taken down by the Malzahar, and Mug is trying to get a kill onto Gangplank, but it's not going to be enough. Unbreakable isn't going to stop Malzahar from going onto a double kill, and they are trying to take down this inhibitor turret, but it's not going to be enough. Even with the super, no, the Baron empowered minions, the redemption isn't going to be enough to be able to take it. Actually, they are, as they're going to be able to push into this base, maybe take the inhibitor, and the sleepy trouble bubble has landed though, and this is looking dangerous. She gets taken down by Zoe, but so has Zoe been taken down by the Valkos, and now they don't have enough damage to take down this inhibitor, so they might be forced to back away.
No, Never Ever Lucky is finally getting his luck turning around for him right now.
But it looks like he's not lucky after all, as Manic goes down to Gnar, and Gnar, Framer, is a favorite. As you said before, he does do a lot in these team fights, and just because he's gone down doesn't mean he hasn't been effective.
No, definitely not. Looking towards the scoreboards, we seem to have a lot of kill participation happening between Vayne and Ivern specifically. That is an 18 kill participation happening right there on the part of Ivern, as well as a 16 kill participation by Vayne. Clearly we know who the major contenders are for when it comes to team fights right now, on the side of ESM.
Exactly, and I mean, Ivern is doing a lot of work, as you said before. Well, as I said before, sorry. He's a support jungler. I mean, you can see how well Airy is using that. Ivern has a shield, Ivern has Daisy, Ivern has a lot of knockups. He's got gap closers, he's got Locket of the Iron Solari, Redemption, he just finished Ardent Sensor. He's got Michael's Crucible to remove any debuffs that are on Vayne, so it is definitely a protected carry.
I like how Ivern is playing right now. He's being a very, very utility-based jungler. He's reliant to the team. He can help the team out in many ways, and now he's just providing with buffs. Just that
Exactly.
Ardent Sensor comboed with the Locket of the Iron Solari and the Redemption, as well as that, I'm not sure what that item is called, I've not seen it in a while.
Michael's
The
Crucible.
the Michael's Crucible is really helpful towards, you know, anybody who gets locked down by that Nether Grasp from Malzahar. As well as Sejuani, if she manages to lock a single person down, and Zoe's, you know, Sleepy Trouble Bubble. They're just absolutely countering them on all fronts. Vayne now has a complete Mercurial Scimitar. That is a lot of attack damage, that is magic resistance, as well as lifesteal, and the you know, the active to get out of the first CC that comes her way.
Exactly, and with that debuff, she does also have Michael's Crucible, she's got Unbreakable, she's got Glacial Fissure on her side. There is nothing these guys can do to be able to lock her down. Enchanted and Crystal Arrow is going to land, but it's not going to be enough. The Glacial Fissure isn't going to be enough, it's going to be a good disengage.
Oh!
Huge play coming out from Vel'Koz as he uses its integration rate to get a triple kill. Zoe is going to go down to Framer as Framer picks up that kill on the hyper carry, and now the only one left is Gangplank. And as we saw before, Manic cannot protect ESM Blue from taking down these Nexuses. His first Nexus target goes down. Manic tries to do something, but he isn't going to be able to do anything as they take down the second Nexus turret, and eventually, before anyone spawns back, they're going to be able to take down that Nexus for Game 2.
Absolutely, and for Game 2 to be a complete and absolute victory right there, with Never Lucky getting his final luck. Or should I say his luck has finally turned around. He has got lucky. He got that triple kill within the last Disintegration ulti right there. Like, just, my god, that triple kill surprised me. It took me by shock. I'm not going to say my quote because I'm still astonished by that.
Yeah, I mean, I love the name too, Life Form Disintegration Rate. Like, I wouldn't say it in a team fight because it's way too long, but, I mean, he did a lot of work with it, and in the end, his work showed as he got the triple kill.
Absolutely, and it was just incredible. Just everything about it was absolutely amazing. I was so astonished by how good those games were. Like, both of those games were going very well. Both teams, you know, proved to be very powerful. ESM managed to come out on top. You know, especially with the major contenders, or should I say the participation rate from Airy and Maze Bay alone. Like, look at that, at 22 kill participations happening from Airy alone, and then we've got 21, one behind from Maze Bay. That is a lot of kill participation just between those two players right there. And as you can see, it paid off well, as Maze Bay got the largest gold accumulation throughout that entire game, followed in by a close second from Framer. Framer was not heavily, you know, participant in the team fights, but his CS did count for it. Get Manic, on the other hand, actually managed to catch up in the CS, but unfortunately, it's just not enough. Just you need to have a lot more CS to be able to keep yourself in the game, especially as a Gangplank, since you need to start building those items. You need to get, those ulti stacks going. And unfortunately, ESM just managed to, prove to be the final victor, leading the win 2-0 against, the boys. So the boys still had their chance. The boys still had their arrow. They will be able to, make a comeback later. But tonight, the surest victory goes to ESM Blue.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just going to focus on one of these picks. Now, the Zoe. I was really excited about seeing a Zoe, especially against the Velcos. And she did her work, but the cleanse that came out from Never Ever Lucky was actually the best summoner spell that he could have picked against the Zoe. And it actually showed. He dealt the second largest amount of damage in the entire game. And because he dished out a little bit more than the Gangplank, I'm willing to bet that was because of the last ultimate that he used, but the last triple kill that he got. But the amount of damage, the amount of work that he did, the amount of work that he did, it wasn't seen by us, but it shows. It shows in the win. It shows in the amount of damage that he dealt.
Absolutely, and looking over towards the damage stats on the scoreboard, we see here that a lot of her damage came from true damage, just as much as Ivern's true damage dealt. But I assume the true damage was also done mainly towards the camps rather than anything else. But with that, everyone, that is a complete series for tonight. We have finished for tonight. Thank you very much for watching in, everyone. I was about to call myself Tico for a second there.
I'm Lux out.
It is just Lex, my friend. But I am Lux, and I am joined here by Tico.
Yeah, that's me.
And we completely thank you for coming and watching tonight and supporting both teams in their series tonight. A special thanks again to ESM Blue for showing us a very interesting gameplay from your side alone. The boys, you did really well. I really loved a lot of your gameplay tactics. A special thanks to Zoe just for the Sleepy Trouble Bubble and to be able to get those picks out, especially in the early game against that Vayne. Now that one there was really powerful, especially with that Paddle Star. I was completely taken by surprise when I saw you coming down from the mid lane and just absolutely just destroying her with that single Paddle Star right there. But that is all from us here in the casting desk. We wish you all a safe and happy night. See you later.